United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, meeting order, roll call, please.
Mayor Seeley.
Here.
Sarah Antonson. Here. Pat Bickett.
Here.
Will Rolke. Larry Rohr.
Here.
Art Schott.
Here.
Mike Tiedemann.
Here. All right, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as written.
Motion to adopt the agenda as written.
Second. Motion and a second to adopt the agenda as written. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right, minutes from October 21st and 28th. So two separate motions. We'll go with the 21st first.
Make a motion to adopt the October 2024 minutes. Second.
Motion and second on the table to approve the minutes from the 21st of October. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. And now for the 28th.
Motion to adopt the minutes from the October 28th, 2024 minutes.
Second.
Motion and second on the table to adopt the minutes from the 28th of October 2024. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, now the fun stuff. Charlie got here just in time. Coaches, you guys will join me. Players, Broncos, if you guys want to come on up front. Yeah. So you guys all have your jersey on. Here, let's go ahead and now. Hey, look, how come you're alternate jersey? Yeah.
All year.
All right, so we're here in front of everybody. So, this is a team of 6th grade boys from Beresford Elementary School, Beresford Middle School.
Yeah.
You guys are in kind of that limbo land, right? So these young men did a phenomenal job this year they built a football team. They played in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes Flag League up in Sioux Falls. Does anybody know what what's the motto for the FCA? Yes. Okay, good, pretty good. They are invested in integrity, serving, teamwork, and excellence. So if you think about that and you think about how well you guys played this year, you guys, I think you lost one game, but it was pretty close. Yeah. And then you won the championship. That was what, 2 weeks ago now? Geez, yeah. So, for any of you that haven't seen them play, and there's some moms and dads in here that have obviously seen these guys play over the last few years, the evolution from a couple of years ago to now and to where they're at, and the excitement for as we get closer to 7th and 8th grade football and then high school football, because there's going to be a day when some of you guys are going to get a little bit bigger. We're all going to be looking up to you, okay? But you're doing a phenomenal job of representing our community. Your coaches have got you marching in the right direction, doing the right things. We respect that, and we're glad that you've done that. We just want to bring you in tonight to say thank you. We appreciate it very much. Awesome job. Way to go. Keep it up. Okay. Be good in school. All right. Coaches, thank you very much. Gentlemen, thanks. Yep, let's go. All right, let's go. All right. And then I don't have anything to present you because you're already wearing it around your neck. Mr. Sims, glad to see you again. Wesley, good job. Caleb, everybody. All right, coaches, thanks very much. Appreciate it. You guys did a phenomenal job. All right, gentlemen. Now, every time we bring a team in or someone from the community to recognize, hey, you guys ever see anybody in the community that's doing something awesome? You let me know, you let your parents know, because we have a formal program where we recognize people that are doing good things on behalf of the community. So let me know, we'll bring them in. But we're going to offer you the same thing we offer everybody else. If you guys want to stick around for the rest of the council meeting, you guys are more than welcome. We have some line items to go over. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah. Good job. I'll see some of you at basketball practice. Good job, right?
Yeah.
Good job. Good job. We got Talk, Jesse, talk first. All right, come over here, let's get coaches in.
Yeah, what are you taking?
We're only gonna be able to do this for a little bit longer because you're gonna be taller than Chris. You know what I mean?
Jackson. You ready? Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. Good job, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Good job. Excellent work. Guys. Yeah. Good night.
What?
Yeah.
We don't teach
In the jar. All right. Fantastic. Visitors to be heard. I don't believe we have anyone this evening. Item number 7 on the agenda, a new housing development article. Within your packet, there's a couple page article that I drafted that discusses some of the benefits to the community of building our housing development. Many of you that have been part of the council meetings over the past few months have seen that there have been opportunities where we believe we could communicate a little bit more proactively. And so this is gonna be one of those areas where if we send something to the Republic and then also leverage our social media channels to get the good word out, people will begin to see that and starting to use some of those terms like managed growth versus sort of this spotty, a little bit here, a little bit there. This is a concerted effort to grow the community and do it in the right way. And as many of you have heard about, one of the things that's going to be a benefit of this development is that it moves the geographical center of our physical population kind of closer to the center of town. And so when we start talking about things like revitalizing downtown, we start talking about, traffic through on 46 and things like that. These are things that are going to be, real options for us. We're going to have more families in those affordable houses that are closer to our new baseball and softball complex. So I think that's a great thing. So if you look at the article, if you have any comments, I don't know if anybody read through, I did send it out and I made sure to advertise and not reply all, so we didn't break any open meeting laws, but any comments about the article thus far?
I just got one. I think we talked about this a couple times about townhouses or houses or apartments. What's the status quo? Is each one gonna be just a house, or are we gonna have something like the golf course where there's a townhouse attached to the next one? Are we gonna have any like 2 or 4 flat apartments? I don't think so, are we?
Well, right now, with all of the single family and twin home lots.
Okay, yeah, twins fine. No, twins fine. I was just wondering.
Maybe just to mention how many,
Yeah.
53? Is it 53, Jerry?
I think it's either 51 or 53.
Yeah, something like that.
Depends how the
It's in the 50s.
final design. depends on
Yeah,
how-
in the 50s.
And I think maybe knowing that we're gonna have over 50, but that it will be a mix of twin homes and single family homes. Because I think one of the things that's been talked or been discussed is that the twin homes seem to be very popular these days, and we feel like getting some of those structures up and having those occupied early will be a catalyst to getting the rest of the development
Right.
moving along. And so, I think we can definitely add that to the article. So people get a feel, because I think that would be a question.
Right, well, some people, some seniors or people that don't want a big yard or, they're looking for something. And another one's if you got the kids, they got the baseball fields out there, so.
Yeah.
It'll give it a little bit more of a combination.
Yeah, and I think having younger families that are gonna have kids playing there and having grandparents that are perhaps moving off of an acreage that move into a smaller home, they're gonna be able to walk, a couple hundred feet once their grandkids play baseball or softball. Much in the same way we see folks that live in the twin homes that are across the street from the big baseball field and then, so yeah, that's a good thing.
Are you gonna put a little article about the baseball fields, the gun club, the Flyers club around here, or are you just gonna keep it strictly on this?
I think to keep it short, because I know there's some, I don't want to use too much real estate in the paper.
Okay, no, that's
But
right.
just getting something out there so that, because I think what this does is this allows us to be more proactive about the discussion about the fact that it's coming.
All right, I don't know, thank you.
This
One other
one,
comment I guess I would have is, if there was mention that we did receive some grant
yeah.
funding for this. So, this is, it's a great opportunity for development with that grant funds that contribute significantly to the infrastructure costs.
Yes.
Yeah, who gave us a grant, Jerry, so we can maybe,
The South Dakota Housing Development Authority.
and one hurt to put their name in there, as they were part of, like team effort.
Yep,
Every
absolutely.
little bit helps.
Yeah, that's a good call out, Pat.
sorry, my question doesn't really have much to do with your letter, which is nice job, Eli. The little snapshot you put in there has SUNY Drive on it. Have the streets been named already?
Yeah, there was a Sunny.
Sunny Drive?
It's, yeah, very small street, but that's the box, Mrs. Box, her name was Sunny,
Oh,
so we incorporated that in there.
okay. Was that a request?
We asked. The group that was working on it,
Because
we needed to name something, so.
if you drew that out a little bit, like what would be on the west side of our development currently, there's still some questions that we're answering.
Yeah,
So what I did is try to get a snapshot of some of the,
no, I get it. I mean, I just saw that. That's the first time I saw the name on the street and I was like, oh, where'd that come from?
I think it was on the plat that came through.
Yeah.
I never paid attention to that. Sorry. Back to your original discussion.
oh, good. Any other questions, concerns?
We thought about naming it Ash Creek Drive again, make for 3 of them in town, but we don't. It'll be easier to have only one.
Well, we don't have any areas named after presidents.
Yeah.
Lincoln, Washington, Reagan, Trump.
Yeah. All right, I will make some modifications to the article to incorporate what, the feedback we just discussed, and then, I'll probably send it out one more time, and then I'll try to get to the paper by Friday, so that they can publish it for the following Thursday. All right, any other discussion there? Item number 8 on the agenda, Miss Elaine Johnson, 2025 swimming pool season passes. As it gets cold, we start thinking about swimming.
We've actually had a few inquiries of people calling in where they like to purchase swim pass as Christmas gifts. And in the past, we have just done a $10 reduction. So right now, a family pass is $135 and a single pass is $85. So we've been offering for until the end of December, $10 off each of those. And so I'm just asking for approval to do that same again this year.
Was there discussion of possibly raising the pool rates this year? Is that something we wanted to consider before we agree to this? Is that something we can discuss without being on the agenda or?
Probably, you can't take action, no. In
In the budget side, we can talk about it though.
Yeah.
When we're talking down there.
But we could approve like a $10 reduction, whatever we decide, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Shall I make a motion for 2025 swimming pool pass, season pass? $10 reduction from the 135 to 125, 85 to the 75. For the season pass early fall.
Except unless we change the rates. then-
Yeah.
I think, maybe make your motion just $10 off the rate,
Current rate.
whatever the rate becomes.
As of today.
Oh, no, amend your motion to say add $10 off the rate we decided.
Okay, $10 off the rate we decide on. How about that?
That's better.
Second,
All right.
Motion and a second, amended motion, it's like, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That motion carries. Right, no items in the old business column. Item number 10 on the agenda, new business review bids for sanitary sewer improvements. We affectionately call this sewer lining.
Yeah, it's gonna be sewer lining and manhole rehab and manhole relining pretty much. Be a little bit of other work that goes with it, but that's what the primary is. So we did have 4 bidders, which I think is, again, would have more bidders than we thought we'd have on any of the bids that we've had. And the engineer's estimate for this project is $4.4 million. Houston Brothers Inc. was our low bidder at $3,833,540.35. And they have worked with these guys in the past, and they would recommend moving forward with the low bidder in this case. And what's kind of unique is that a lot of these guys kind of work with each other, even though they may be the main contractor. H&W may help Musin with some of the work that they do, and then Business Sewer may do some of the other work that Musin Brothers don't, so. It's kind of unique, they kind of all work together, but they've all got just a couple different bidders in there, and these guys were very competitive, so I think we got a good bid, and we'd like to move forward with that.
What's the highlighted, H&W's last?
Oh, I didn't put that on there, I don't know. Yeah, I just did that as the high bid or something.
Yeah, 12.688.
I just got kind of a little follow-up.
Possibly a math error in the totals of the unit items, I'm my guess, but.
Just a little bit of extra on that as we move forward. Our total funding for all the projects we have was slightly over $15,108. We got an SRF loan for the sewer part of it. And we had some loan forgiveness of $134,000 out of that. We had a drinking water SRF loan for $672,000. And then we had ARPA funds that's a grant for $5,177,000. So total project costs right now are a little over $11,400,000. So we have some extra room in there. Pat estimates by the time we're all done, we should have
3 million.
these. You want me to give you these, Art?
Yeah.
Art. Well, I can give you this whole thing when I'm done. So, anyhow, we got about $1.7 million additional that he feels that we have available to do, some additional work on this project. Right now, we are looking at just the category A improvements, which are the worst of the sewer mains that we have to reline. That was our main focus, was to hopefully we have enough money to do them, with the dollars that we got. Well, we applied for all these funds over 2 years ago. We got the funding back in April of 2022. So prices have went down a little bit on a lot of the stuff that we're doing. So we're starting to see those costs. Anyhow, we would like to, in talking with Jeff Keith, we would like to continue on category B, sewer mains, which are gonna be the next level, which probably we may be addressing in the next 5 to 10 years. So this may give us an opportunity to do a lot of that work also. So the sewer rate's already in effect to take care of paying these loans, so we wouldn't have to go back to the drawing board or anything. They can go ahead and make changes based on all these different calculations you see in there. They can do that. Vanderbilt, obviously, they haven't done a complete set of plans on it yet, so we'll have to redo some of the work that they're gonna have, because they're gonna have a lot of work to do that. And then we have to send it off the DANR again for their approval, but it might be a good opportunity for us to get a lot of extra work done. Under the same thought that we were gonna do with the $15 million.
It sounds like we've got a plan where we've televised all the lines in the past and we've identified the ones that are in most need repair. And just working from the stuff that is closest to failing to the stuff that's brand new. It makes sense. I mean, construction costs aren't gonna,
No,
historically, don't go down.
I agree, you're gonna get
If
more.
you've got the money now and
1.7 today than you will for.
you don't have budget to pay for it. So
you want Munson, bro?
Yeah, I would just do, put all the stuff in there, we just approve the low bidder and
That's Munson?
muscle.
So that bid is enough to do all of the A.
Yeah.
And now for some of the B that we identified.
Not much of the B, but most of the A and then manholes too.
Okay.
We're gonna reline a bunch of the manholes with that system, so. So it'll take a pretty good chunk of it, at least that's the older portion of town, so.
Make a motion to accept the low bid from, is it Musson Brothers? For $3,833,540.35.
Second.
Motion and a second on the table to accept the low bid by the Munson Brothers from Waukesha, Wisconsin. $3,833,540.35. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries with simple.
I will get Pat, get a hold of Pat right away in the morning, and he'll probably draw something up this week for an announcement maybe.
You said they have worked with these guys quite a bit.
Yeah, they have. He said there's, each of them kind of specialize in different things, is what they do. Good.
All their teaming agreements had each other listed, so that was an interesting.
The subs are the same ones that
They
bid.
did, and they said.
You know,
That's not uncommon.
Pat, and then some of the folks that ran here for the bid, the engineer that's here, talked about the fact that this lining that we're doing has a 25 to 50 year life expectancy, but on the East Coast, we're actually seeing some of these communities that are extending out to the 75 to 100 years. With similar technologies being used, and so everybody sets the projection for their lifespan.
You get any guarantee with that or what?
They're gonna get a warranty for a certain amount of time. After that, they're on their own.
And is it, how much more is it for extended? Do they offer it extended?
I don't think they would.
Oh,
It's hard to say what might happen any given time.
Well, Art, if you're still in the council 50 years from now, you'll be voting on it again.
who knows, my spirit could be here.
All right, so next item on the agenda, we pay request number 8 for site works incorporated wastewater treatment facility for the Saker units.
We had this is obviously our biggest draw so far, $2,241,041.71. We would like to get approval to pay that. However, we are waiting on some payroll information, which Siteworks has got to verify wages for a lot of the people that are doing the work out there. So this one we're going to hold until that information comes in because it was due here a few months ago and then they still haven't got it to us. So they need to get it, Siteworks needs to get it from their subs and then they will send that into the DEANR as part of the bid docs that we had. So
No action on that tonight.
well, we want to get it approved, subject to the pay request, the payroll information, and the approval from the DEA. Who's the guy, where does money come from?
The state. and
State, is this just
ARPA.
the state? Okay.
Mhm.
Because we don't have 2.2 million just sitting in our checking account and the sewers checking account right now, so, and it can take a week or two to get that money, so. We'll send it out once that money's in here.
So we don't need no action then.
We want a motion to go ahead and move forward with payment, and we'll just hold on to it until some certain things are there. We're waiting on payroll info from Siteworks, so.
So you want a
I
motion?
want a motion to approve the amount of pay request number 8. And then we will just hold the payment until then, but I don't think you need to put that in there, Art. We're just gonna hold it.
Shat makes a motion for pay request number 8 to Siteworks Inc. As Jerry Simon stated on the specifics.
Second.
Motion second on the table to authorize pay request number 8 site works wastewater treatment facility Saker units. In the amount of $2,241,041.71. Contingent upon payroll documentation. Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? All right, pay request number 8 site works is approved. Good to go? Good to go? Okay, good to go. Pay request number 1 Aztec 2024 asphalt surface treatment.
That project was finished a while ago. We just got the bill on that, $80,389.50. Of that, we did a little, kind of just trying to figure out how many square feet we got out of that. So we got about 225,000 square feet. So it cost us 36 cents per square foot to put the asphalt down with the blotter on top of it. And engineering was about 9,200. We had budgeted 100,000 for the entire project, so we're about 40 cents a square foot that we're looking for. And then Jeff's supposed to give me this stuff from 2023, so we can compare how it was from this year to last year. So he has not got that to me yet, so.
To figure out if we're covering the same amount.
Yes,
Need a motion?
yeah, we'll have to have a motion to pay request number 1.
Shall I make a motion to pay request number 1? Is that, you want the dollar amount?
You can sure put it in there.
$80,839.50.
It's 80,389.50.
Wait a minute, my paper says
839.
839.50. Is it 839? Okay.
when I verify it, we don't wanna under or overpay anybody, that was their city worker.
There we go. Thank you.
Sorry about that. You got it.
So we still have a little over, or 19,000 roughly in the budget for that yet? Or,
We had 100,000 in there, so, we would be 8,000 or so.
oh,
They're doing a lot of asphalt work though,
Okay.
so we're doing a lot, probably more with asphalt work, so I'm sure we'll use that up.
okay.
Do I have a motion on the table?
Second.
Motion and a second on the table to authorize pay request number one to Aztec 2024 asphalt surface treatment project in the amount of $80,839.50. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried, authorizing the pay request. Next item on the agenda is the 2025 Minnesota something acronym Safety Management Agreement Addendum.
This is a safety program that, all of our departments, primarily, most of the departments have an opportunity to use them. I don't know, Jane, if you take part in any of them, but there's certain things that are for clerical people sitting and ergonomics or whatever they call that, so there's things that are available to everybody that we have, but mostly electric and telephone. And public works guys, Elaine goes down. She's our safety coordinator, so she gets to be involved with that, so.
Need a motion?
Price went up 3.5% this year. And they're asking for, this is an annual fee, which is gonna be $14,929.95.
14,929.25,
$14,929.95.
95.
And how long have we been part of this?
Right? Wow. Long, remember.
So 14,000 some dollars. And the benefit to us is. Explain that again, I'm sorry.
I think the main benefit, obviously, we were workers' comp people. Our workers' comp has been very good in the last few, we're getting some pretty nice sizable, rebates back each year because we haven't had any claims filed, or we have very few claims, so I hope this helps. I mean, that's the idea, that we have something that might help.
Okay.
I guess, Mike, you guys,
Monthly safety meetings for everybody.
just keeps everyone aware.
Are we included in that too, like the city council? Can we get rebates for us? We never
Need
get
safety
asked.
training? It does go off of a certain number of people. So,
All right, shall I make a motion for 2025 MMUA Safety Management Agreement Addendum, which is 14,929.95 for the year.
Second.
motion taken on the table to authorize the 2025 Minnesota Municipal Utilities Association. Yep, agreement addendum in the amount of $14,929.95. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Mike. Faith in Action Subsidy drawdown request. Yeah. Mhm.
Shall I make a motion for faith in action subsidy drawdown request for $6,000.
Second.
Motion and second on the table to authorize a subsidy drawdown request of $6,000 for Conversion of Faith in Action. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. We're going to set a public hearing date of November 18th, 2024 for retail on sale liquor restaurant license.
I received an application from Cottle Rose for a on-sale liquor and restaurant license. And so we just need the council to set the hearing for the next council meeting for the public to come in and for or against.
Okay.
And then I've invited Cottle Rose also to attend. And then, the fee will be $2,250, I believe.
It's 2,100. Don't recall.
I took it off of the last,
Yeah.
I didn't grab it.
And that's our last license.
Calculation, mhm.
2,000 what?
I'd have to double check.
Oh, it's all right, no big deal. Just so
I know it's like
we got them all.
2,200.
2250.
2,250.
The survey in 2022 is what your email said.
And that's for the application, and they pay a yearly fee.
Then the yearly renewal. is
700.
Yeah.
Yes, 700.
Are they applying for this year or for January first?
So they're going for January 1st,
Okay,
2025.
all right, thank you, thank you.
We'll get that next time with restaurant licenses, they've got to meet certain requirements and certify. Annually that 60% or more of their business is from the service of prepared foods, not. Short order stuff like a frozen pizza or something of that nature. They have to have table service, menus, so there's a lot of things involved with it that they'll have to comply with. So you're not limited by the state and the number of restaurant licenses you can issue. Regular on sale licenses for just liquor establishments are limited by population, so.
So we need a motion to set the hearing date.
Or I did, didn't you? Did they say, oh, they didn't set it, okay, yes, you do.
Okay, so that's November 18th, 2024. Shall I make a motion to set the public hearing date of November 18th, 2024 for retail on sale liquor restaurant license. With the city of Beresford, South Dakota.
Second.
Motion is second on the table to authorize or to set the public hearing date for November 18th, 2024. Retail on sale liquor restaurant license Cabo Rose. Any further discussion?
So if they're applying for the restaurant one, that doesn't go against our, does that go against, so we still have one for sale then, yeah, if somebody can want to come in?
And that one is in the works.
Oh, okay,
They're required conditional use permit, so it's gotta go through that process
gotcha.
before. they-
So at the next meeting, I probably will be coming to set another hearing, hopefully.
Motion second on the table, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Alright,
Anyone opposed? Public hearing date has been set. Next item for discussion, 2025 on off sale liquor license renewals, which is the following page after the application for the restaurant license.
So this is a list of all of the businesses in town that have submitted an application. They've submitted their operating agreement and they also have submitted the fee. It's just kind of easier to list them to let you guys know who all has a license. And so this will become effective January 1st, 2025.
We need a motion on each one, or you just want me to do the whole thing?
Sure thing.
Pardon?
The whole thing.
Oh, we gotta read each one.
No.
Oh, okay, shall I make a motion for 2025 on and off sale liquor licenses, as stated in our packet.
second.
Motion is second on the table to authorize the 2025 on off sale liquor license renewals. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Alright,
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right, following page, next item is a seasonal and part-time wage scale. So the following page is a short spreadsheet with job descriptions on the bottom of the page.
So this is the part-time wage scale for 2024. The minimum wage increase was 30 cents, so the server bartender column will move up to $11.50. And then the rest is, in the past, we've just done that 30-cent increase across the board, and then it drills down from there.
So that was not in my email, so. Did you consider the library wages again, like you said you would?
So in September, we approved the 150 wage increase for the children's library, correct?
And we're,
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Still not me.
Jane, you're asking for above and beyond that September.
Well, I had asked for $3 and they said it wasn't good timing.
Yeah.
And that they would be looking at them again. And they did give $1.50, so I was just wondering if any more consideration was taken in about. getting us up closer to the starting wage of,
And the wages are included in our spreadsheet. They reflect the 150, okay.
Right.
Jane, you had asked us for 3, we went back down to 150. As we were entering into this period where we're gonna have discussions about both this and then also, subsequently we'll have discussions about potential pay increases for other city staff. So children's librarians now at 1784 at start, and then librarians are at 1716.
and we did hire the librarian. Because I didn't know if I would get a qualified children's and that I may come back at a later time to move it to children's, but. I'd like to give them 6 months to a year to see if they're
Qualified.
able to do those
Mhm.
jobs, those items.
On the application, applicants did you have on the new hire?
One. You know, but some were like, they could just work 2 days a week and then some were. I had 2 that I.
What are your skills expectations on that, Jane?
I think just able to come into the library and there's so much more to learn than you could really imagine. I mean, anyone that's worked for me says, wow, I didn't know you guys did all these different things. So just learning the skills, most every librarian has said after a year that they're still learning more things. I mean, we do we help people find historical research, we, help people on the computers, we schedule the meeting rooms, I could just give you a list on and on. I mean, I've got a list at work of some of the things that we do. Then we're programming for kids, we're ordering books, we're ordering electronic books, we're getting books ready, getting them on the shelf, doing displays, we have kids walking down from the elementary, so we're taking care of 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders for checking out books, and that adds to our workload. So on Saturday, I worked by myself and we had 110 checkouts and 92 things come in to put away, plus I had people coming in that I was helping with wireless printing, and then I was just all day long, I was just running around doing stuff. Except maybe the first 30, 40 minutes, it wasn't too busy, and then after that, it got really busy.
What are the people on this list? They work independently with any of the groups or programs that you have?
They do. Although usually for the kids programs, we have enough kids attend that I usually have to have 2 staff in there and then somebody out at the desk. So if we're doing programming, I usually have to have a minimum of 3 people working. In the summer, we have all 4 of us working because of that. Like, we're gonna have a movie day, it's teacher in service, we're gonna do a movie day on Wednesday. Last month, we had 150 kids there. So, I don't know, we just got a lot going on, and you really don't know unless you're there doing it. I mean, there are so many people that think librarians probably just sit around and read books. We're like, no, we never read books, honestly. We might read a few kids' books that come in, but we hardly have time to read books. That's the real truth. I mean, we read some at home, but you get in 50 books every month and then you maybe read 1 if you're lucky. They just think we sit around, eat candy, check out books, but we don't.
Well, and you shush people.
And we shush people. And we wear little sweaters with Kleenex and stuff.
What was the experience you had in the last job search as far as the number of inquiries and the skill level of the people that were looking to join?
Well, I had, probably had 2 or 3 retired people. I had some people that I don't think any of them had ever worked in a library before, not one. Some at least had worked with kids or had a little bit of programming, a little bit of teaching type background. You know. I don't know if I should say it here, but, you know, some people came in and filled out an application in 5 or 10 minutes, they didn't sign it back, they never worked with kids, they've never worked in a library. So just, I had, from applications you'd hardly consider at all, like I said, I had 2 applicants really that I looked at. And one person pulled their application because they didn't want to work Saturdays or Fridays. Any.
It was someone that worked with the library it's either feast or famine, because there's days I'm over there and there's a line out the door with the kids and then, you know, it gets pretty hectic some days.
And obviously, when it's not as busy, that's when we're getting books ready and getting them out on the shelf, running labels, cataloging them into the computer. I have to order online books like that you use with the Libby app. I have to order those too. I order large print books. We go to the nursing home with books. We, you know, like I said, have those classes come down. I have families, I have homeschoolers, I have people who get books online and we pull those for them in stacks that they come and check out. So. I invite you to apply, Larry. You might love it.
Yeah.
Better than my kids.
Yeah. You have to work some weekends and you can't go anywhere warm in the winter, you gotta stick around. Well, mostly you can't go anywhere in June because that's when we're busy with summer reading.
So there's, what, 3 part-timers at the library?
But anyway, I feel like I have to spill my story more than any other department head. I got letters of recommendations. I did research for wage comparisons. I feel like I do more than most people do when they ask for raises for their employees. And I don't ask very often. Maybe every few years I'll come in and ask, and I actually did kind of a famine there for about 5 years where. I mean, Annie's worked at the library for 17 years and I think she's just at the top of the scale. She's not even above it. She's just the top of the scale.
So with the exception of the changes that have already been made to the clubhouse admin assistant. I guess that was last year. Have we bumped anything else? Trying to think.
We kind of reserve the pool for discussions on if there's consideration in other communities if they might part enough.
Yeah. I'm kind of just in time decision.
Yeah. So we may have to, we can do that again this year, hold off on approving anything for the pool until May or so.
Yeah. April 15th of
April.
2024 is when we did it.
Okay.
Have any of the other city departments expressed concerns hiring people for their part-time, like the snow plows or heavy maintenance, you know, some of those positions?
I haven't heard anything.
Well, Jeff's the only one with the street. I believe he has that one girl that works part-time, but she runs heavy equipment. I don't think he's got more than one part-timer that I know of. Could be wrong, but I think we adjusted hers to run heavy equipment.
So the 3 part-time employees, how many hours do they work on average? Per week, per month?
Oh, I do have that from last year. I believe that, Barb just skims in right at 32 hours a week times 52 weeks. I think we're just right over 1,000 hours for the other, each part-time person, like 900 to 1,000, but in order to.
Would there be other areas where we could potentially? But I don't think we have people that could.
I mean, I think I gave you what it would impact me for the whole year. I believe it was about 11,000, but you did give me, you know, half of that raise, so I will be spending probably an extra 5,000 to 6,000 in the budget next year, over this year. with the raise that you did approve. Honestly, because we don't qualify to be in a union, I don't know exactly where the city hall girls are at or anything, but I know Elaine probably told me if I asked her, but I can't, I don't know how you can compare to that, if we're close for hiring wage or not really. And
Yes, your part-time salaries. Budget in 2024 was 76,875. And
that
then
would be Barb at 32 hours, Annie and now Deb.
the budget thus far for 2025 is 68,925.
That was like the raise we already gave them.
Yes, that would be up to date. Well, if you have the up to date budget sheet, which I'm sure you do.
So we're talking of roughly $2,600. Between, say, 32 hours every week. Yeah.
Well, that's Barb, that's 32 hours a week, and then we got another 20 for each of the other guys, so
So
72 hours.
70 hours per week, you think, total?
Do you recall in the budget, 2025 budget request under part-time salaries, what did that reflect an increase?
I leave that for the city, they do
So
all
we-
wages, so.
Yeah, we put it into a spreadsheet of how many
Right.
hours are used and kind of divide it by the number of hours so far and just a rough estimate.
Yeah.
It's just,
So that's 69,000 is pretty close then.
that's what the number came out to when we punched it into the spreadsheet.
If we left it as is today. Okay.
And that's with the $1.50. We took into consideration the raise that they got in 24.
Oh, the 3% on top of that too, yeah?
No,
No, but the,
so they typically don't get the 3% like the union.
Oh. Gotcha.
If there was a 3% consideration, it would be somewhere around 55, 60 cents. And considering our earlier discussions on that and the momentum and the reputation of the library, I think somewhere around $1.10, doubling that would be a step in the right direction. Something to consider. But I don't know, any comments from the library board perspective?
Oh, I gotta give him credit. I mean, I don't wanna say nothing too extreme one way or another, but I've been here since 91. I'll tell you what. I was on the senior center board 9 years, I was on the cable board. I've been on a lot of committees, and if I needed something, I don't care what time of day or night it was, I'd call her and shoot. Either get the movie, get the book, get the information. I mean, it was really impressive. And then whenever I'm over there, the kids are always happy, and the help seems they're impeccable. If you go to the computer, yeah, I need help here, and there, boom, they know exactly what's going on over there. So I think they're pretty good. I mean, in my opinion, for the city, I think they're a shining star. Plus, she's on the library board, I believe, from the state of South Dakota, right? I mean, she's impeccable. I mean, she knows her stuff. And like she said, I don't think she's barely ever in here asking for any money. The way labor now has changed in the last 5 years with the police and the lifeguards, everything's changing. So, where do you draw the line? But you want my opinion, we already made a recommendation for hire because, we don't want a high turnover, but between me and you, if you did give her this time, you could probably review it maybe next time and take a, better in depth. Because like the lifeguards, I think you're gonna have a little trouble there too, because I called around a couple places and they're paying way more than us, so I'm not saying it's a do or die, but I think they earned it. I don't think we're throwing charity at them at all.
We went with 75 cents an hour, that would be about an additional $2,800. Whereas $1 would be $3,700. Yeah. The budget that's been proposed for 2025 is approximately 50,000 less than 2024. 323,404 for 2024, 272,385 for 2025.
Well, I believe we did some remodeling here, so I think this year's supposed to go. She's pretty tight with her money, to be tight, and she's impeccable.
Yeah, your buildings and improvement line last year was 56, so that was,
We did some major improvements over there.
I think $1 an hour increase is,
Fair.
Yeah. and that doesn't get you to the full $3 per hour that you initially requested, but the $1.50 in the previous ask and now $2.50. I think it moves us in the right direction, and then we just keep our fingers on the pulse, and if it's something that would suggest to us that there's still an issue.
So we make a motion for the 3, and then the rest of the part-time, or I want to make a motion.
I would say, the motion would probably have to reflect that we recommend approval of part-time wages for each position with an increase of $1 per hour for both children's librarian and librarian.
What's it, just say the 2025 wage scale? I just did 20, we can put these numbers in the wage scale, rather than trying to put all those different items in.
Should we make the approval?
I mean, right now, we'd add 30 cents an hour to all the other jobs and then $1 an hour to each of these, the children's librarian and the librarian. That doesn't take into the summer library assistant at all, Jane.
I would want it on the whole scale. I think it should be 3 people, because the summer person works very little hours, but it's a lot of help and they come in.
And
I was lucky enough to get somebody who was very good last year to fill in when Barb
They were
had hip
3 months,
surgery,
4
and I
months?
may not even hardly need anybody in the summer, but I will for a little bit.
3-4 months, a couple hours a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Actually be about 2 months, and it would probably be about 10 hours.
those 3 columns, summer library assistant, children's librarian. Increased by $1 per hour. And 30 cents per hour for the remaining positions.
Make a motion to approve the 2025 wage scale. I think we said $1 an hour for the 3 library positions and 30 cents an hour for all others.
Second.
Motion second on the table to approve the 2025 seasonal and part-time wage scale to include $1 increase for the 3 library positions and a 30 cent increase for the other positions. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Excuse me, I think you're underplaying the need for the skills and abilities, and glad that you're finding those for those specific needs.
We just get more and more scared every time we need to hire someone that there's just nobody else.
Well, your feedback on some of the people that are sort of, they're filling out applications. It's clear that they're probably not lending any thought into the position.
Honestly, I do think some people apply because they assume it's just gonna be some easy job they won't have to do. So,
I mean, and maybe you've done such a good job of marketing some of the services you've done in the past, maybe that's something we do is, tell me about a typical day in the library, and that's, because I think communicating across the spectrum, Mike do a similar piece where he says, this is what some of my linemen do, that's what a librarian does. This is Keith could give us some insight into some of the other positions. Jerry could show us 16 pounds of paperwork.
Yeah, we can
I agree down the meeting.
All right, Thanks, Amy.
The meeting owl was part of our grant that we got through ARPA. We got $40,000 worth of stuff here just a couple years ago with ARPA funds at the library. We got all kinds of equipment and Mr. Owl there that you're using, that's part of that. That's all we put it down.
Good thing. All right. Last item, new business. Consider the first reading ordinance 2024-05, 2025 appropriation ordinance.
Pat's here now, so he wanted to go through it all.
I spent
You
the
got 2.5
time
hours.
going through the spreadsheet, listening to the council meeting, so.
Were you able to follow it?
No, not out there. So.
I think at the last meeting, we talked about a lot of different things, and moved a few things around.
Yeah.
And, Elaine gave you updated pages there on the changes that she made in there, so I think you have a chance to look at those. With the changes, and I think she was gonna try to.
Yep.
Put it up there and walk you through, we're not gonna go through everything, Pat, sorry, but,
No,
We'll go through it.
like I said,
we
went through the
want to
spreadsheet.
general fund real hard, because we do have to have a first reading of that tonight.
Yep, no,
I got one question. Do we have to go over the subsidy before we approve that? Because we might be changing.
We will be, yes, absolutely, we can put those numbers in when you guys approve that tonight. Elaine's prepared on her computer there to make that change. So then, you
That's my
want to
question.
increase something, that's fine.
Do we do the numbers before the motion or after? Or leave that?
We're not, there won't be a motion tonight, it's just gonna be the first reading of the ordinance. But we need to be within a certain parameters there. If you have large changes after this, then that first reading has to be held again, which means another meeting, so we
We discussed.
want to be close.
We discussed with Larry a little bit, and I think we're gonna change some of the numbers, but I mean, the reading, we can make that, do we go over any of this other stuff tonight?
We're gonna
Change
update you on some of the stuff Elaine put in there, just so you're aware of it. And she's gonna walk you through those a little bit, so
Can you?
like I said, we're not gonna go over every change, but the ones we did make are gonna kind of for everyone's,
Thank you.
That help? So does everyone still have their packet from the last meeting?
Yep.
Okay, so if you go to the very first sheet where it says general fund revenue. Underneath code ending in 3319, local law enforcement grant. We added $2,480, and this is the federal overtime grant that Chief Shirk has applied for that we will get reimbursed for some speed radars.
I think, did you tell me, the one that she gave you today are all gonna be highlighted? I think some of you guys were looking at different ones, but
This is
just make sure you got the right one.
money in, money out.
Right.
Yeah.
And these are just changes from the last meeting. So then if you continue down, the transfers in did not change at all. That's just highlighted for if we need to make a change. So if you move on to the next page, it would be council expenditures. Put it over here. The changes underneath code 42900, other current expenses. We took out the capital improvement plan of $30,000, and then we put in $5,000 back for the welcome to Beresford sign expenses and memorials throughout the year. There's no change for the mayor. There was no change for city administrator. There is a change underneath my budget. When I did the G-Works, I didn't take into consideration it was prorated. And so it came in at $6,000 more than what I had entered, so I bumped that up to 21,000. Which is 14,000 is with the G-Works software, and that's all of our payroll, general ledger, utility billing, bank rec. It's pretty much the brains of City Hall.
You say prorated, so that means it's gonna keep going up?
No, last year it was prorated and I took that amount and I didn't take into consideration what.
The full years.
That number was prorated,
Oh, I see what you're saying, I'm
so
sorry.
for
Yep,
next year, it's the full year.
I get it, okay.
So that was increased by 6,000. There was no change in city attorney. Got one of the best in the state, so he was good. Moving on to the police department. Um. The police department, you had asked about the patrol car. And Chief Sheriff did not think that we were going to get it right away in 25, so he is planning on outfitting the car in 26. And then,
Where's that? I don't see that change.
We didn't change.
there was no
Oh,
change,
okay.
you just questioned about
Okay,
outfitting,
gotcha, okay,
outfitting the
thank
car.
you.
And then right below that is the, 2 radars for the federal overtime grant that we're being reimbursed for.
Okay.
There was no changes in the fire. So moving on to the street department. You had asked to increase the code 42520, which is street maintenance projects, by $30,000. And so we bumped that up to 130,000.
So basically just took the capital improvement plan and moved $25,000 of that over into here, so.
And that's gonna be for the chip seal and all that. Yep, okay.
There was no change in mosquitoes, so moving on to the parks department. Just to clarify, underneath, buildings and grounds at code 42501, those were trees for the north ball field. I know we had questioned which ones the trees were for, but this is the north ball field that Kelly budgeted for. And then underneath, machinery and vehicles, which is code 42503. There was an extra $10,000 in this code, but that we moved to miscellaneous fixed assets, because that's actually where it should be and not in machinery and vehicles. So we kept, this budget at 5,000.
Really don't change, just moving.
Yeah,
around.
moving things around.
You do the right columns.
Correct.
Right, yep. And then if you go down to the miscellaneous fixed assets, he is looking to get a part vehicle lift for the new park golf shop, and that is going to be split between the golf course and the parks department. And then he's also looking to get a Ventric attachment, which is a field groomer. We just moved those to the correct category and then clarify. Mhm.
Yes.
The lift will actually be big enough that we actually lift a pickup on it also, so it'll be big enough that they can lift something sizable, so we're not just, it's not gonna be just a lawnmower lift.
Sure. More safety training,
Absolutely.
good, good thing we're paying for that.
Are we gonna get 2 lifts, I thought?
No, just
No,
one.
it's just one, it's coming out of 2 budgets.
Oh, okay, 2 bunch, okay, thank you, sorry.
So if you move on to the swimming pool expenditures. Underneath buildings and grounds. Kelly has budgeted $12,000 to do the pool parking lot, to seal the parking lot, so he will visit with Jeff when it comes time for chip sealing. To get the parking lots done. And then he also has, let's see, well, that's just for chip sealing the parking lot. And then underneath swimming pool maintenance, code 42505. The furnace is currently broken at the bathhouse, and so he put down $10,000 to repair it.
That's the water, feed the water.
Yeah, it's a box for the water heater.
And does he have a quote or does he know that'll fix it?
He
or-
did get a quote,
Okay,
yeah.
what about other repairs at the swimming pool? Cause I heard there was some cracking and maybe needed to be repainted or. Did you mention anything about that?
He didn't.
Okay,
I think we've been touching it up each year, so I have a feeling it'll probably come next year where they take and sandblast the whole thing, redo it, so
Okay.
that $30,000 to $40,000 again.
okay,
And then if you continue on down to the bottom, where it's code 43900 miscellaneous fixed assets. This is where the chairs got moved down to. We're looking to replace and get 30 new deck chairs. So I'm gonna skip over subsidy, I'm gonna leave that one for last. The library, there was no changes, it was just clarification and putting, the dollar amounts got entered in the wrong column, so the dues and membership fees, code 42925, should be $400. The building and improvements, which Jane is painting, will be $4,000. Library books, 20,000, electronic materials, 12,000, furniture and office equipment, 2,800, and computer equipment, 3,500. The numbers just got off on the columns, on the packet, the original packet that you received. Any questions so far?
I just got one from Jane. Are we gonna try to get some grant stuff paid? Some of the computer stuff, you made a comment in one of the meetings that we were eventually gonna look at maybe faster or newer computers, because we get some equipment.
No, I had mentioned that just like 2 years ago, we got $40,000 and we did upgrade everything. So what I mentioned was that they will all kind of come due where they're 5 or 6 years old. That's when we usually replace them all about the same time. So
Oh,
I'm trying really hard to just,
staggering.
yeah, like at the very end of next year, I'll probably get 1 or 2 if we have a problem with 1, but I'm just trying to stagger them out a little bit. Trying to do some at 5 years, some at 6 years.
I think you're doing a great job. Thank
Is
you.
it better to buy them than do a lease program of some type?
Most librarians I talk to tend to like to buy them, so I can set them all up myself. I can set them up to the printers. I really have only hired Quint Keys a couple of times to come in and do something that I couldn't do, so. And they're nice and, yeah, so I don't feel like we're spending a lot of money on equipment, and the telephone department is great to help with the filters and some of the things that are a bit above me, the firewalls and filters, and they help with that.
And don't we have the speed turned up just a little bit?
We have 1 gig, so we're up there at the top.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
But I don't think we get very close to meeting it most of the time, but we get E-rate, so they pay 60% of it, so. It's really, we're just circling the money around in the city, so there's some works.
Yeah, the ALA and INLS both have grant programs for Services and Technology Act. Maybe something to look into.
Yeah, we do. And sometimes they get money, sometimes to the state,
Mhm.
so then we're getting grants. That's what happened in some of the other funding we got. It was, well, that was mostly hard money.
How many machines do you have?
You're supposed to know this.
7, 8 patron computers, we have 4 set of computers, we have 3 laptops. We have 1 that's available for checkout, but that with the grant money, people can check out a laptop and get them. Some libraries do hotspots, but we haven't got into that. So, I think we have good internet service in town, and I know Troy had a little concern about what people could possibly do with the hotspot, so.
As far as
How they,
something inappropriate,
yeah, but,
when they log in, do they sign an acceptable use policy or anything like that, or?
no, but we do have the filter on now, and we need
Yeah.
to do that for E-rate, plus with the new House Bill 1197, so we are filtering for pornography and that type of. But hotspots could be a little bit more,
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons we haven't got into it.
I don't know how the Beresford kids are, but when I talk to Sioux Falls, my kids can get around the firewall faster than. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, they say that all the time, but
And you guys walk
we
around,
think it does space out, and we do walk around,
and you keep an eye on it pretty good.
but they can play Roblox and
Do a great
count
job.
each other up.
So we got the one question.
Can they play GTA?
Pardon?
Can they play GTA or no?
I haven't seen them too much. Roblox seems to be the big one.
That one's pretty inappropriate.
See, this
As far as I know.
this is just a quick mention about the wages, so it doesn't change anything. I'm very appreciative of it. But how you might want to think about it is that you're giving 30 cents to all part-time employees, and you're giving an additional 70 cents to the library. I know it doesn't mean one penny iota difference as far as funding goes, but then. Somebody's not saying we got $1 and they got 30 cents, because you would have given 30 cents to all of us. Across the board, but you're giving us an additional 70 cents. It just might not look like you're giving quite as big a. Independent raise. So. If you're worried about what other departments might think or look at, it just could be a possible wording difference that you might want to say, that you're giving 30 cents to all. Part-time employees and an additional 70 cents. It's just how people would possibly take it. But Jerry says he always has somebody that comes up to him when he gives a raise, and how come my department?
All the time. Considered a side gig as a marketing consultant.
Yes, I might do that.
Now, I just got one question, okay, before the reading says 101,500, that's what's on the subsidies. I thought we're gonna maybe review some of that if at all possible tonight to cut it quite a bit.
Yeah, I think we're gonna push that to the end, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
so
I did have one question on the general fund.
Sure.
We've got the one line item for transfers out. The transfers in, yeah, I understand that from the electric department, telephone department, and the sewer.
Solid waste.
solid waste.
Or sorry, solid waste. Do you have contingency funds? Of sufficient amount, I guess, especially when you're talking electrical, you know, to cover a major storm event where we have. A major ice storm, bunch of broken poles, things like this out on the highway where we had to remove a bunch of stuff around because of the DOT. Do we have a fund set up for that?
We don't put contingency in the electric or any of those budgets. Whatever they have at the end of the year goes back into cash on hand, and then if we will transfer over in South Dakota Fit because it pays a little bit more at the end of the year, so. They usually run with a cash balance of about $1 million, and then we got about 3 million plus in the South Dakota Fit. So we're earning about 100,000 plus on that in interest right now, so we're building that up again. And we're putting some aside for a new truck, probably in 2027, out of that too, so we have budgeted for, I don't know, there's a couple $100,000 profit, and we're still putting money into the general fund out of those funds.
Okay.
So we really don't specifically budget for an emergency. On the general fund, we budget 30,000. And that's basically when somebody goes over, $1,000 in their budget, we just take it directly out of that. I'll have to try to go find it somewhere else, but if there's any major changes to it, they will usually come to you guys and say, hey, this came up, we need to do this, and this, and we try to find a way to pay for it, so.
But to add to your comment, Pat, the street department is gonna take 202,000 out of their South Dakota Fit to purchase the new truck and dump truck. So that's a portion of it.
Okay, and the fit is.
It's their reserve account or savings account, which has a higher interest rate.
I just,
It's through, it's kind of through the South Dakota Municipal League, so it's one of our approved places that we can invest.
right,
And we can move it around, like in a day's time, we can move one account to another.
And it stands for South Dakota Funds Investment Trust, so South Dakota Fit.
what we're gonna discuss.
Yep.
Pay or electricity.
Yeah, I think if we can finish this one up first, I think, and then we'll just talk a little bit about what, unless we're gonna be here a long time on that, and maybe Mike wants to leave, but. I said, if these might take a couple hours, so.
No, it's not.
No, it's gonna go pretty quick.
So-
Just go ahead and do what you gotta do.
Larry's got it all right now.
Larry's the lead man. We
I don't recall running for that, Art, but.
just got adopted. Yeah, appointed and adopted. How about that?
So we have left all of that in there for you guys to look at, so when you look at the budget there, I know it's a little hard for you guys to read on this one, but. We can make adjustments and maybe put them in, and then, once we have that, that'll be our first reading of the ordinance, so.
Do you, in that fine print document, do these need to be broken out individually or just
No.
grand total?
No, we
Very
used
cool.
to do that, but not anymore.
Okay.
The state told us this is the way they want it done, so this is the way we do it.
Okay. We talked about these last year. I think we're kind of in the same position where We're, I don't know if there's an appetite to make any severe cuts, but holding the line as close as possible. Last year I advocated for some smaller increases in some areas that specifically provided food subsidies in the community, different organizations. And also I know there is a special request from the senior center with the replacement of some items. So based on the 2024 budgeted amounts on that sheet, I'll start the discussion with the recommendation that we consider a $3,000 increase to $6,000 total for the senior center. An additional 500 in the Bright Beginnings line specifically related to the food subsidies.
4,500.
From 40 to 45. And in the community food cupboard up near the bottom, an increase from 3,000 to 4,000. Which is a total of 45, which would bring the bottom line total from 69.5 to 73. Beresford community covered, yeah.
To what?
From 3,000 to 4,000. So the total increases are 45 again, which would raise that bottom line of 69.5, 73.
And what about the,
To make sure I'm following, so starting at the senior citizen program, it would be 6,000.
Yes.
Community bus service, 6,000.
Mhm.
Bright Beginnings daycare, 4,500.
Correct.
Community education, 27,500.
Mhm.
Beresford Baseball Association, 10,000. Fireworks display,
35.
35. Coif,
It's down 0 right now.
Beresford Cemetery Association, 1,500.
Mhm.
Chamber of Commerce Old Fashioned Weekend, 35.
Correct.
Women Entrepreneurs, 1,500.
Correct.
Faith in Action, 6,000.
Correct.
Beresford Community covered 4,000.
Yes.
And I came up with 74,000.
simply what?
74,000.
Correct.
What do you think, Pat? And
So I have to recap.
so Sarah,
Yeah, you came up with this roughly about a 3% increase.
This actually represents a little more than 3. This is a little more closer to around 5 total. 4.5 to 5. And I think it might be a little closer to 3, but this proposal includes a special consideration for the freezer and or refrigerator needs at the senior center.
yeah, they did get a quote on some of that stuff because they did get a new sink, a 3 sink. There's 3 other charities in Beresford. One of them said they're gonna pay for the entire sink, Boston, everything else. It's about 2,000, 1,500, so they're paying for that. So the freezers, she's looking at 34-inch, and then there's another side by side. So between the expenses in the freezers and refrigerators, that's probably gonna take the bulk of that money, but we appreciate it. But then the VFW, a lot of other people rent the kitchen, so we try to stay as frugal as we can. You guys been doing a great job to help out when supplies come, or if something breaks down. We appreciate it. Thank you.
So I'd offer that as a discussion start.
Well, my question is to Elaine is, can we, if that's not too far out of whack, is it?
This is your decision.
I know, but I mean, we want to be as fair as we can.
We gotta balance the board. I know this is just gonna take $27,500 away from the subsidies, So that'll take our unassigned fund balance, which is cash on hand, we'll reduce that by 27,500. It's probably already done in Lane's little.
I'm working on it.
So,
Don't use my calculator.
What do you say, 27?
yeah, 27,500, I think it was.
I just
Compared to
want
what they had asked.
The only one I would probably suggest is maybe going to 5,000 and right beginnings from 45 to 5 because of the cost for the food increase that they're incurring. And the extra money they were asking only covered a portion of what they were asking is what it's gonna cost. So I mean, we're barely scratching the surface, even giving them an extra 1,000, but it's still gonna help a little bit more rather than just 500 giving 1,000.
I think to the credit for that program and several of the similar programs of similar nature that are supported by community education, all of those have asked the parents with participating children, they've raised their rates this year.
Well, you gonna go along with the 500 more or no?
I think it's money well spent for what this program is directed at.
Well, yeah, I'll go along with that then. So we got, what do you think, Pat? You go along with the 500 extra for beginnings? Set it up. And we raise it to 5 instead of 4,500, is that acceptable?
On what one?
Right beginnings,
On the right beginning?
remember to say no means it's a vote against kids.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. We don't want to get too far out of whack here.
Well played.
Yeah, Carrie and Meg, when they built their application,
Yeah, just as a spectator, why does the council feel like they should mow cemeteries?
I don't think it's mowing, I think it's some of the upkeep that Donnie does. That, where he's maintaining the cemeteries so that people can actually use them, because I think they've been in a state of disrepair, fences down, headstones down. I think it's more than just mowing.
Yeah, he's done a lot of repair out there.
Maintenance.
It's not the
Yeah,
Emmanuel or the Catholic side, it's
Right,
it's the
and I'm
city
on the
side.
Beresford Foundation, but we're like, we can't start funding mowing of cemeteries, because there's tons of rural cemeteries that are broke all the time and don't have churches with them anymore, and then, I mean, I was just curious, like what,
I thought this one.
I know it's sad that
No.
it's not, you know, that they don't have enough money, that's sad, but I think we should all step up if we have relatives there and be giving money to that, as opposed to something that the city is funding.
So the
And I have
city
nothing
does-
against Donnie, and I think
The city side of things, so right. I mean, it's like I know our church,
The church does,
our
yeah.
church's
Emmanuel does,
area, right, the Lutheran church does their area, yeah.
but then there's lots of other churches in town that use that. If you're not Catholic and you're not Lutheran, anyone else can use it, so why aren't those churches all giving $100 or $200 to fund it as opposed to the city? But it's just my comment, I just, as a Beresford Area Foundation, we felt, gosh, we just can't start funding cemeteries. Because that would be endless, and they aren't in the city limits, are they? There is a city cemetery, that's not in the city limits or anything. Just curious. Just something to think about. I'm not trying to say it's bad, I'm just saying that sometimes when you have to make cuts, you have to think about what, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're good questions, I think we need to ask, and I think you need to see what other funding streams are potentially available. I do believe I heard Donnie say that he takes care of some headstones that don't, where there isn't a family or a church affiliation, so. Some of them are veterans, there's a few Civil War, World War One burials out there, but.
To me,
And I
that
also,
should be more fundraising.
yeah, but I'm looking at it as justification, and it's a cheap cemetery, so. That would just be a deliberate discussion where we say, okay, help me break this down and help me understand what we can do to.
Jerry, can you help me remember on the tax levy? Is it $55,000 more we're getting this year? than last
Yeah,
year.
55,
55,
roughly $55,000, yeah.
yeah, is what's coming in.
Extra than we had
Difference
last year
from
with that.
last year to this year. So all of that is being absorbed by these subsidies. And more.
Well, I just have one, there's one that. In your recommendations, Larry, that asked for money and you said no money, the COIF program. At least what I wrote down anyway, as you were going, so I just didn't know. Everybody else, we gave something, but is there reasons I don't know?
Looking through the program and the budget, this was really based on the 2024, which they hadn't applied at all in 23 or 24, so.
I believe that their financials showed that they had a balance that they could bring events also.
Yes.
The last couple of years, or now, okay.
We agree on the right beginnings to 5,000. I do, what do you think, Pat? You gonna agree on the 5?
On which one?
Right beginnings, up, you're gonna up it to 5,000.
I mean, the price of food's gone up almost double.
Oh, yeah, the food.
Yes.
Went up to the senior center too quite a bit. So is there another one we gotta work on, or is that fine? Sounds good to me.
It's an open discussion.
I know, sounds good to me, but
Well, I mean, with the chamber, I know the chamber has sort of re-envisioned what they're doing, so now they have a little bit more energy, but if we keep them at the same level we had before, at least it gives them starter funding to get things rolling, like last event they had and what they're gonna have in the future. That's, to me, it feels like there's some energy there, so, a year from now, we may see that it would be a higher return on investment. But I think because they're kind of defining the way that they're going to go forward, I think keeping them at that same level is probably fine.
Yeah, that's what we talked about too. Let's see what we can do with what they've got.
Yeah, I think with as energetic as some of these new business owners are, young business owners, I think that there's an opportunity, they're gonna find other ways to bring funding to the table too, so.
he did a great job in that flannel shirt. You know, I walked around, visited, there's a lot of positive attitude. So.
I think we're good. Sounds like we're good.
What is that, 74,500?
Yep.
No,
You just gonna put it on the reading, right?
First reading ordinance. They're good, that good?
okay, so then that very fine print ordinance, my apologies, I was trying to save paper. But if you go down. Reports the way. Where it says government funds, unassigned fund balance. That dollar amount is going to change to 154,128.
What was the total subsidy that time?
154, 120.
Subsidy total is 74,500. No. This is just the first reading.
We're checking.
And you can read it out loud if you want.
The next meeting, our first read here, we'll leave on at the next meeting.
Huh?
We'll leave them all at the next meeting, so.
Okay.
So
You got the,
we can't have any substantial changes from this reading to the next reading, otherwise we're gonna have to have some special meetings. So speak now.
No, the only question I got, that I'm on the street department, I did talk to Gary, I did talk to Elaine, you have talked to me today, down at the way for the dentist. We was talking about maybe raising the fees for the dump, but I don't think that's a big obstacle, is it all?
We'll do that separately from all the rest, that's not gonna be a big number anyhow.
No, I mean penny counts
We usually
nowadays,
try to look at each of them every year, so.
yeah.
We're not gonna get into a lot of the other departments here tonight, because I think we've already done most of that, but we did, I got Mike here, and I think you guys wanted to talk to him a little bit too about the rate increase. We had originally had just budgeted 2%, but the study guys with Missouri River Energy Services were recommending 5%. We threw all of our information that we got, and all of our budgeting and all that, and he said a 3% increase would probably take care of where you need to be for this year, so. Doesn't have to be done right now, but I think we'll probably work that into the budget, 3%, so you're talking
That's what we're
$100.
recommending, 3% for now.
Yeah,
I'll go with what they say, you know,
yeah,
that's what we hired them to do
yeah.
But they were saying 5 originally.
Originally, it was pretty estimate, yeah.
it. He didn't know about our interest, earned interest off that pitch.
Gotcha. So now he's saying 3 isn't
Yeah,
enough.
and we lowered their transfer to general fund, right?
Then I was just gonna lower our reserve just a tad bit, but that's okay.
And what are they anticipating over the next few years? Have you gotten anywhere back on that?
There's that study in progress, right?
Yeah, there's a rate study in the works to be presented in 2025.
Just our cost alone was,
So we'll get 26, 7, and 8 probably is what they're gonna recommend.
And that'll come when?
after the first year, I would imagine.
My guess
You think
is,
it'll come sooner?
no,
It'll take 6 months at least.
yeah, I thought early spring is what they had.
Yeah, I think you're right, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll be getting one on the water stuff too, from Banner, so we're kind of working on a few numbers with the water and sewer, those are the only two, and we don't transfer out of those funds at all, we can't, so. Those are the only ones that we're kind of struggling with just a little bit right now, knowing where will we be on existing projects and when them funds will come in. I think we gotta budget them separately, so.
So what's your recommendation, wait this year, next year for the rate increase? I'd rather,
3%.
yeah, I'd rather put it on the agenda next meeting and
Beginning January 1.
discuss it, discuss it. Or can we make a motion today?
We'll have a resolution.
Oh, okay, all right.
The rates are set by resolution.
This is just our budgeting, but we'll have a resolution sometime probably late November,
All right, that's fine.
or first, well, we're already in November.
Doing a great job. Smile.
Place like.
Thanksgiving. Oh, it's the time of the year, it's another couple weeks.
Football season. All right. Any other discussion? Yeah, appreciate that, Mike.
Thank you.
No agenda items and discussion and information items, number 11 on 12. There is a singular travel request from Mr. Hanson to go to Firego. Couple weeks. I'll entertain a motion to go to travel request.
Shot make motion, telecom operation conference, Fargo, North Dakota, November 14th and 15th, Anderson.
Motion and second on the table to approve travel request for Austin Hanson to TOC planning. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Must pay the bills. Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we pay the bills.
Motion and second on the table to pay the bills. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Do we have something for legal?
Yeah, just briefly.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna entertain a motion to enter into the executive session.
Drive safe.
Yes.
Thank you, Jane, have a great night.